Okay, we have some more information on the broad who shut down the highway to the Trump rally in Fountain Hills, Arizona yesterday. She is a Soros fellow from New Orleans. Actually, she's from Mexico originally, but I guess Soros has Jewish liberal Soros. I like saying that, by the way. And again, Adam at Trump Nation is a Jew who actually practices Judaism, and I really don't like Jewish liberals, period. Yeah, there are some exceptions, but, you know, let's call them out, especially with these so-called rabbis leading a walkout against Trump at AIPAC. You can see my video on that. You know, just Google Martini Rabbi, Rock and Roll Rabbi Trump. But anyhow, that's not the point of this. We got some information. Oh, I guess I have to overemphasize her name in Spanish because they like to do that. Jacinto Gonzalez or something. But yesterday, this is from Jim Hoft, where I get so much information, and check out his site regularly, thegatewaypundit.com. Jim Hoft writes, yesterday far-left open border activists shut down the highway leading to the Trump rally in Fountain Hills, Arizona for 2 hours. The protesters parked their trucks against the highway to block traffic. Oh, let me say something. I didn't show the thumbnail there. I showed the thumbnail here. Well, I mean, she has some things going for her, though we'd like to see what's on the other side, because maybe it's just proportional and she's a little heavy in the dumper. But I raised this question because it may make a good teaching moment. Check out what the attire was after World War II that the French collaborators with the National Socialists, I don't use the term Nazis, I use the term National Socialists. There's a reason everyone uses the terms Nazis. But the women on their top had to dress a certain way. In fact, it doesn't involve a lot of clothing. And, you know, I use this thumbnail to sort of make that point, irrelevant as it may be. But hey, let's dehumanize our enemy, whatever. That's why I use that on her thumbnail. Her face isn't bad, by the way. Her face is not bad. You can look at that elsewhere on the Gateway Pundit. Okay, let me get back to the article. The protesters parked their trucks against the highway to block traffic. Only 3 protesters were arrested. And we can't blame that one on Rahm Emanuel like we did last week. Shameful. Rahm Emanuel is a disgrace to the Jewish people. He didn't arrest anyone in Chicago. Or he ordered that no one be arrested. I think maybe a couple people were anyhow, but that would have been against his orders. Where were the paddy wagons? There's a picture of her looking very defiant. So defiant. Maybe I'll post that in there, but yeah. Oh, what a proud face. So principled. And then another one of her looking so defiant. Oh, wow. She learned very well. Okay, a little bit about Jacinto Gonzalez. She is a trained community organizer and Soros fella. She is from Mexico. She's 26. And by the way, her name is not Jacinto Gonzalez anymore. If you look at her bio at the Open Society Foundation, it's Jacinta Gonzalez Goodman. Means she probably married Goodman is more often than not a Jewish last name. And so it's probably a secular Jew. You know the type, Stalinist, Bernie Sanders, you know the type. Might not be. I mean, it's not always that way, but I'd be willing to bet it is, given her work with Soros and knowing the disproportionate representation of so-called liberals of Jewish descent amongst Soros' crew. When Jacinta Gonzalez came to New Orleans over her winter break from Wesleyan University, this is from her Soros bio. She expected to be in the city for 2 weeks, but after volunteering with the New Orleans Workers Center for Racial Justice, NOWCRJ, not the most catchy acronym, the Central Mexico native decided to return and has been working for the Congress of Day Laborers since 2007. I was really intrigued with what was happening with workers who came to New Orleans, how they were being integrated into the community, Gonzalez said. I was drawn to come as someone who... I know I can't do the accent. Give me a break. I'm just mocking her. If you don't like it, don't listen. I was drawn to come as someone who speaks both English and Spanish and who has lived on both sides of the border. Part of the NOWCRJ, the Congress of Day Laborers, is dedicated to organizing workers of various races working in an array of industries, build their power. Not even grammatically correct. Proofread, baby. Working in an array of industries, build their power. You need the word "to" in there. And participation within their communities. Gonzalez says she facilitates meetings for members in community outreach programs. Proofread, baby. To explain what rights workers have and how they can defend them if violated. We give workers the tools and spaces to be active in the democratic process we have, Gonzalez says. If someone is willing to stand up for their rights and support themselves and take risks, I feel like it's only fair for me to say, how can I help you and what can I do to make that happen? I really think for us to be able to live in a world together, people who are directly affected by a problem have to be part of the solution. Okay, back to what Hoft writes. It's not clear if she is an American citizen. Jacinto was one of 3 organizers who shut down traffic for over 2 hours yesterday in Arizona. She was trained by Soros. Well, probably not directly. The Soros Open Society Foundation has more on Jacinto. I pretty much gave you that information. Some good comments that started. From Tammy, pretty bad. It's not even USA citizens started these riots. Not surprising she works for Soros. Kenneth Darby should have towed the car away while she was still chained to it. Yep. John is honest, cute, dumb chick. We should pass a federal bill entitled the Freedom, another John writes, we should pass a federal bill entitled the Freedom of Access to Highways and Political Rallies Act and use the same standards as the Freedom of Access to Abortion Clinic Entrances Act and make this kind of stuff a federal felony. And Clarence from Reading in my home state of Pennsylvania has 2 good comments. Should have rammed the truck, and too bad if it took her head off. Time to fight fire with fire. Amen. These anarchists are trying to shut down free speech. The truth be known, even the GOP elite supports such tactics if it helps to stop Trump. Unfortunately, I'm betting it's helping Trump win over more voters. And then he also writes, would she be able to pull this S at an Obama or Hillary rally if she was on the other side? We know the answer. We know that answer, don't we? Only the left is allowed to riot and get away with it. Only the left is given space, as in Ferguson, to do what they want or burn down the city. All right, more of the same. And then I like this one from Felons Against Guns. Congrats, little hot Latina. You have solidified probably another 10,000 votes for Trump in one fell swoop. Hope to see you in the bang bus shortly after Trump wins this thing. Yeah, totally objectifying yo ass right now. You're too stupid to be more than a hit and quit. Do kind of like the cable around the neck. Submission is sexy on the right woman. And then one more from Carol. She is a disgrace to Wesleyan, where she went, breaking the law is not in accordance with their bylaws. All right, Adam at Trump Nation.